Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Nio Stock and why I think right now, guys, is actually a perfect time to buy Nio Stock. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investing journey together. So today we're going to be talking about Nio and why I actually think right now, guys, is the perfect time to buy Nio Stock. If you guys don't know what Nio actually does, Nio is an EV company that's based out of China. They produce luxury EV cars, full-on battery power. It's pretty similar to Tesla, but this company actually just happens to be based out of China. Looking at the 5-year chart, guys, this thing IPO'd September 12th of 2018. Fairly recent, guys, already up 622%. Looking at the 1-year chart, guys, this thing is up 1,677%. I've said this time and time again that I do think Nio is the biggest growth stock of 2020, and it has definitely caught the most attention of investors. The reason I say this is because, guys, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people didn't know what Nio actually did. A lot of people didn't even know what Nio actually was. You guys have to take a look here. At the beginning of the year, that this company was trading around $4 a share, and the fact that this company is now evaluated bigger than General Motors, and just a single year alone goes to show that that Nio is a legit company and is actually worth the investment. You guys have to understand that the fact that Nio was able to gain this much traction, this much growth in the midst of a pandemic. A lot of companies are struggling. A lot of companies are filing for bankruptcy. And the fact that Nio has been able to basically grow an empire in a single year alone goes to show that, guys, that Nio stock is probably worth the investment. Looking at the 3-month chart, guys, this thing is up 125%. So the growth is constant. And the reason I say, right now Nio is a good time to buy it. And the reason why I think Nio is worth the investment at $43.36 is because, guys, this stock is actually going to be growing for a very long time. Nio almost hit $57 a share. Looking at the 1-year chart, you guys can see here this little tip here where Nio was doing very, very well. And the reason is just because Nio has actually been just surrounded by a lot of bad news lately. One, the U.S. passed a Chinese bill basically saying they're going to delist Chinese companies if they don't abide by basically U.S. auditing guidelines. I think they want to avoid the overall Luckin Coffee incident again, saying that a lot of Chinese companies actually fabricate a lot of their sales. Followed by Nio doing a huge stock offering of 68 million shares offered at a 7% discount. Obviously, guys, people hate stock offerings, and the reason is, guys, stock offering generally does devalue the stock. I can understand where people are coming from and why they were upset that Nio actually did this, but you guys have to take a look at it from the positive note. The reason why companies do stock offerings, guys, is so they can raise capital. If you guys didn't know, Nio was able to raise $2.5 billion in capital. And the reason they do this, guys, is so they can ramp up production, continue to expand. And you guys also have to understand as well that, Nio has a big vision. Their plans to expand to Europe by 2021. They're also producing a lot more vehicles. As you guys know, Tesla has been making more of an appearance in China, selling a lot of their vehicles there. Nio, to combat this, originally stated that they were going to produce 2 new sedans to compete with Tesla's Model 3, which they're still going to do. But now, in other news as well, Nio is also going to be producing an SUV and a minivan as well, which is absolutely huge because they're trying to expand their brand line and they're overall trying to expand, their overall product line as well, guys. That Nio is trying to expand, is trying to ramp up their production. Nio, on top of that, unveiling a bigger and better battery and a self-driving chip to roll into the robo-taxi delivery service. Goes to show that Nio is on a project of growth and they're trying to be as innovative as possible. You have to understand that a lot of companies do fail at this, and a lot of companies do fail to innovate, which is ultimately why they fail. Now, Nio's actually been surrounded by a lot of good news recently as well. You cannot take that away from the stock and the company in itself. A lot of analysts have been saying, right now is a good time to pick up Nio stock, that Nio is probably going to be the biggest growth stock of 2021, and that Nio is probably the best pick, even over Tesla, as far as the EV companies go in 2021. Followed by a huge analyst upgrade from Goldman Sachs, guys. You have to understand that Goldman Sachs gave this stock a 666% analyst upgrade from $7 all the way up to $56. They're now dropping more vehicles and they're trying to expand as fast as possible. We did get a look at their November deliveries, which they did very, very well on as expected, delivering 5,291 vehicles, guys, 100% over what they were actually expected to deliver. And to the simple fact as well, we did get a good look at their earnings, and they did very, very well on their earnings as well. As you guys can see, their losses are shrinking, and overall, their revenue is starting to grow, already expecting $960 million in revenue by the next quarter. You guys have to understand that 2021, guys, is going to be a huge year for Nio, and I think that we're actually going to see a lot of growth from Nio stock, and I actually do think that this is where Nio is going to be hitting $100. Yes, I do think Nio Stock is going to be hitting $100. I do think that Nio Stock has the potential because, as I said, guys, it's not just on top of Nio being a great company and them trying to expand as fast as possible and them doing a very good job at expanding as well, but it's just due to the simple fact that aside from Nio being a great company, guys, you have to understand that, the EV market in itself is starting to mature and there's just simply more demand for EV, guys. People are looking for these top EV companies to be the next Tesla, to lead us into the next decade because, guys, with battery power, you can be so innovative. You've seen all the EV companies that have IPO'd this year alone. The reason this is, guys, is because people want a piece of the pie. People want a piece of the EV pie in itself because people know that that these companies have the biggest potential to grow over the next decade, that these are the stocks that people should actually be paying attention to as the pandemic seizes down and as the vaccine starts to get distributed. People are going to start rotating out of tech a little bit and they're going to going back to high value stocks such as airlines, cruises, and all these other stocks. But guys, you cannot take the credit that EV has left on the investing world. The fact that these EV companies are growing like crazy and everybody wants to get into these EV companies. For me, guys, Nio is the top pick as the next EV company. I do think Nio is going to be the next Tesla. The trajectory of growth that it's headed, guys, Nio is going to be a huge company. On top of all of its analyst upgrades from JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and on top of the analysts saying all great things about Nio, that Nio is going to be an iconic brand and that Nio is going to basically be a top EV company. Guys, you can't take the evaluation away from Nio, that this company basically went from nothing, now evaluated bigger than General Motors. Guys, the 1 year chart speaks to itself. The fact that the stock is up 1,677%. Guys, the stock is worth an investment at $43.36. This could be your last chance to get Nio stock at this price. Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. But guys, you really have to take a look at the bigger picture and look at the overall growth that Nio is actually going to be experiencing over the next couple of years. And you have to understand too that, as the EV market starts to mature, Nio is going to be growing for a very long time. And Nio is actually very, very much worth the investment at $42.36. Guys, take the opportunity, buy Nio stock. This might be your last chance to get it at a good price. With that being said, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Nio stock. Do you think Nio is worth the investment at $43.36? Do you think Nio stock is going to hit $100 by 2021? If you guys own Nio stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.